So let's talk about Skip Gildersleeve. Give Skip Gildersleeve. I met him when I was working at TechCom. TechCom was on the first floor, and on it was on one side of the building was the showroom and the offices. On the other side was the warehouse. And I walked into the warehouse, and I see this guy. He was kind of going through all these like bits and pieces of connectors and that. And I start talking to him. I say, what are you doing? And he said, oh, I'm working with Cinderella. I'm the bass guitar tech. And Cinderella was on the fourth floor rehearsing. You have to understand that the TechCom building, first floor was TechCom, second floor Masterworks, the mastering facility, and an 8-track recording studio. And then the third floor was rehearsal halls. And the fourth floor was a guitar luthier that was Ron Ruggiero, and a huge rehearsal room. And that's where Cinderella was rehearsing for the tour. So Skip was looking for parts for the thing. And we were just talking, and I said, oh, you've worked with other bands. He says, yeah, I've worked with Rush. And I go, wait a second, you worked with Rush? And he said, yeah, I'm Geddy Lee's tech. Been with him for like 20 years or so. And I've been a huge Rush fan since I was 16 years old. My very first concert I went to was seeing Rush in Wheeling, West Virginia, opening up for Blue Oyster Cult. Well, one thing led to another, and we became friends. And I had a 388 Tascam machine on the showroom floor, and Skip came in and saw it, and he wanted to buy it. But he didn't have enough money to buy it all at one time. He says, let me put it on layaway. I said, that's fine. So as he was touring around the world with different bands, so he was with Cinderella at that point, he would send me money to keep paying for that 388. He when he wasn't with Cinderella, he was with some other big band. He was with Collective Soul, or he was with What Was Not Was. And I mean, any big band he was going through, he'd come through town and he'd call me. He says, come on over, George, come see the band. And we'd go out and get dinner. But he also took me when Rush came through town, and there was more than a few times. He had me come and sit on the side of the stage, right next to him, watching the show. And Geddy Lee would walk right up to Skip, and Skip would say, okay, you gotta back up just a little bit while I take care of him. And then Geddy Lee walked back over the stage and do his thing, and he said, oh, just sit over here. So I got to meet Geddy Lee, and I got to meet Alex Lifeson. Alex Lifeson is just a party. He's fun to hang out with. Geddy Lee was very serious, just shook my hand, and that was that. Neil, I was told, just don't get near him. I had to help Skip take some water bottles over to him, and he said, just hold him, stand right here in the hallway. We were backstage, and Neil was in a room playing drums, and he said, just stay here, don't come in the room. And I could just look through the window, and I could see Neil, and he looked at me, but it was kind of a glare, and I was like, oh, this just doesn't look good. But I found out later he's kind of shy. But Skip, we've remained friends for years and years and years, and unfortunately he passed away in 2013. But he always had some kind of connection, and he wanted me involved. He became production manager for Steely Dan. That's the Walter Becker connection there. He worked for Bob Seger at the very end. When he passed away, he was working for Bob Seger. So just a great guy. We even went when I went to Detroit to go see Vintage King, because they wanted me to. They wanted to sell it to me, and they wanted to talk to me. I went to see a Skip, and me and him, we went to go see the sights. And one thing that he's never seen, even though he lived in Detroit, was Hitsville. And I said, let's go. And I'll post the pictures. As me and him went to Hitsville, and he says, it's funny, something that's in your own backyard, you never go and see until somebody comes and visits. So we always got along, and we always exchanged information and that. And last thing, I talked to his daughter. His daughter's about the same age as my daughter, but she's a dentist now. I reached out to her through Facebook, and we exchanged information. Skip used to send me Christmas music. There was some bizarre artist that I never heard of, and it was under Reverend Russell because his name was Russell Gildersleeve. But he said no one called him Russell. So that's my Skip Gildersleeve story. As far as Rush, I'll post some other stuff later.